So prayer and fasting week this week, and in simple terms, fasting is going without food for a period in order to focus on seeking the Lord. And so it's done with intent of being unto the Lord, dedicated to Him, not just skipping meals, but fasting to seek the Lord. There's different ways of doing that. You might fast certain days or certain meals, or fast rich foods perhaps, in the way Daniel and his friends did, and still ate but cut out certain types of foods. Or maybe something other than food, like screen time or social media or whatever. And in doing that, doing it unto the Lord, and perhaps taking some extra time to pray, to seek God and allow Him to speak to us. And so can I encourage you, if you're fasting, you may come across times when you feel hungry. And when you feel hungry, use that as a prompt to pray. Go, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, that's right, I'm fasting. And take it that next step to say, God, would you build your church? God, would you speak to me, speak to us this week? And declare, Lord, your purposes are greater than my appetite, even when I'm really hungry. And so we're saying, God, I want you, your purposes, your guidance, your breakthrough, more than my natural desires. And so in the Bible, there's a whole lot of scriptures and occasions when people fast, and you can search up a whole lot of those. But a brief summary is a lot of the purposes for fasting was, often Old Testament was frequently when there were times of trouble. So enemies attacking or defeating them already perhaps. And so it was a demonstration of sincere repentance. God, we've strayed from your ways, and that's why something bad is happening, and we're turning back to you. It was about interceding for God's favour, or perhaps a restoration of God's favour that has been lost. Sometimes desperation for a breakthrough or a victory. God, an enemy army is coming against us. There's something that I don't know how to handle. God, we need breakthrough. We need victory in this situation. And often also Old Testament and New Testament, fasting and prayer was connected with hearing God's voice, seeking God for hearing His voice for guidance or His prophetic word, sometimes situation specific. God, there's an enemy army attacking, what should we do? And sometimes it seems that it was just prayer and fasting and seeking the Lord and God speaking to them as they were devoted to God. And just general devotion to the Lord. A regular practice of devotion to the Lord and a habit of submitting natural desires to godliness. And so fasting forces our bodies to submit natural desires to supernatural priorities. We're submitting our natural desires to supernatural priorities. And so over this week, let's fast and pray. Let's consider those purposes of fasting and say, God, we're praying, we're returning to God ourselves, and we're interceding for others to return to you as well, for the lost sheep, the prodigals, to return to God. We're interceding for favour and for breakthrough in our life, in your life, in the things you're facing, and for our church. And all those things that you would love to see for our church, let's be praying for them. God, bring breakthrough, bring your favour for our church. God, we want to hear your voice in big and small things, in specific questions, and in just, God, what is it that you want to speak to me about that maybe I'm not thinking of? We want to hear his voice, and we want to be devoted to the Lord, living by the Spirit and not by flesh. Living according to godly priorities, not just our natural appetites and desires. So we're praying, God, build your church. Build your church. That's us. God, would you build us up? Would you build this church up? God, would you draw people to yourself? Would you pour out your Spirit, empower us, equip us to boldly speak your word, to encourage and build one another up? God, move on our behalf. And so, however you may choose to participate in fasting or not, you don't have to, no pressure. But let's, through this week in particular, say, God, would you build your church?